A quiet afternoon filled the jewelry store as customers browsed the displays and cashiers worked behind the counter. Suddenly, a man walked into the store looking around. At first, he seemed like any other customer, but the cashiers quickly realized they recognized him from a previous robbery incident at another store. Remaining calm, they watched as the man approached the jewelry displays. Before he could attempt anything, both cashiers who were licensed to carry firearms for security acted immediately. They stepped forward, drew their firearms, and firmly ordered the man to get on the ground and not move. Realizing he had been recognized, the man complied and lay face down on the floor. Within minutes, the police arrived and arrested him without any resistance. Thanks to the quick thinking and alertness of the cashiers, the situation ended safely before any crime could occur. On a Saturday night, a man and his girlfriend were walking home along a quiet street. The area was calm, and the dim streetlights were the only things lighting their path. As they continued walking and talking, the sound of a motorcycle suddenly approached from behind them. A bike carrying 3 men slowly pulled up beside the couple. Almost immediately, the men began acting suspiciously and demanded that the couple hand over their phones and valuables. It quickly became clear that they were attempting to rob them. The man quickly realized the danger of the situation. Staying calm, he stepped slightly in front of his girlfriend and pulled out his licensed firearm before the robbers could react. He firmly warned them to leave immediately and told them that he would defend himself if they tried anything. At first, the robbers argued and tried to intimidate him, but they soon realized that he was serious. After a brief moment of tension, they decided it was not worth the risk. The driver quickly turned the bike around, and the 3 men sped away into the night. Relieved that the danger had passed, the man put his firearm away and made sure his girlfriend was safe. The couple then continued walking and eventually arrived home without any harm. One quiet Tuesday morning, an off-duty police officer was inside a small store while the cashier was working behind the counter. Suddenly, a robber walked into the store and pointed a gun at both the officer and the cashier, demanding money from the register. The cashier was frightened and did not know what to do. The robber did not realize that the man standing in the store was actually a police officer. As the robber focused on the cashier, the off-duty officer quickly pulled out his own gun and ordered the robber to drop his weapon. Surprised and realizing he was at a disadvantage, the robber immediately surrendered. The officer was able to subdue the robber and called for backup. Shortly after, other police officers arrived at the scene and arrested the thief. Thanks to the quick actions of the off-duty officer, the robbery was stopped and everyone in the store remained safe. It was late in the evening when a police officer returned home after her shift. The neighborhood was quiet as she slowly reversed her car into her garage. Suddenly, a white car pulled up in front of her house. Before she could fully react, 3 men stepped out of the vehicle and began firing at her car. The attack was swift and unexpected. Inside the vehicle, the officer remained focused despite the chaos. Drawing on her training, she quickly reached for her legally carried firearm. From inside her car, she returned fire in defense, forcing the attackers to retreat. The suspects, caught off guard by her response, rushed back into their white car. Within seconds, they sped away from the scene, abandoning the attack. The officer immediately secured herself, contacted emergency services, and reported the incident. Additional units arrived shortly after to investigate the attempted ambush. Thanks to her calm reaction and professional training, the officer survived the attack and prevented the situation from escalating further. It was a quiet evening inside a neighborhood liquor store when a man walked in acting suspiciously. He quickly grabbed a pack of beer and headed straight for the exit without paying, but the store owner was watching closely. Before the man could make it out, the owner locked the door, blocking the escape. Realizing he couldn't get out, the thief dropped the beer onto the floor, trying to act casual. After a tense moment, the store owner unlocked and opened the door, ready to confront him. That's when the thief made another attempt. He lunged back toward the beer, grabbed it again, and tried to dash out the door. The store owner reacted immediately, grabbing hold of the beer and refusing to let go. A struggle broke out right at the entrance as both men pulled in opposite directions. Determined not to let his merchandise be stolen, the store owner overpowered the thief, forcing him to release his grip. Outmatched and frustrated, the thief gave up on the beer and ran toward his car parked outside. The store owner stood at the doorway, beer recovered, and store secured. Thanks to his quick action and determination, the attempted theft failed. Within seconds, he sped away empty-handed. One busy Tuesday afternoon, a man entered a grocery store pretending to be a normal customer. He walked around the store for a while and then joined the line at the cashier's counter like everyone else. Nothing about his behavior seemed suspicious at first. When it was finally his turn to be attended to, the man suddenly threatened the cashier and demanded all the money from the register. He expected the cashier to panic and quickly give him the money. However, the cashier was not intimidated by the threat. Instead of showing fear, the cashier quickly grabbed the man and picked up a bat that was kept behind the counter. Holding the bat firmly, the cashier warned the man to get out of the store immediately. Surprised by the cashier's bold reaction, the man realized his plan had failed and quickly left the store. On a cool Saturday evening, the 26th of July 2020, a woman was sitting quietly in front of her house, enjoying the calm of her surroundings. The street appeared peaceful, and nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Suddenly, a motorbike approached and stopped in front of her house. Two men were riding on the motorbike, and while one remained seated with the engine running, the other got down. The man who stepped off the motorbike pretended to walk past the woman as if he was just a passerby. He acted casually and did not raise any suspicion. Without warning, he suddenly turned around and ran toward the woman. He grabbed her purse while she was still sitting, hoping to snatch it quickly and escape. However, the woman refused to give up her purse. She held onto it tightly and struggled to prevent the thief from taking it. In the process, she managed to grab the thief's helmet. Using the helmet, she struck him repeatedly until he lost control and backed away. Surprised by her resistance, the thief abandoned both the purse and his helmet. The thief quickly ran back to the motorbike, jumped on behind his partner, and the two men sped away from the scene. The woman was left standing in front of her house. It was a calm afternoon at a neighborhood store when three men pulled up in a car and parked just outside the entrance. Nothing seemed unusual at first, but moments later, the three men stepped out of the vehicle and walked into the store together. As soon as they were inside, their intentions became clear. They attempted to rob the store, threatening the cashier and demanding money. Customers inside froze as tension quickly filled the room, but the cashier was prepared. In a split second, he reached below the counter and pulled out a licensed firearm. Before the thieves could fully react, he fired toward them, forcing them to retreat. The sudden response caught the robbers off guard. Two of the thieves immediately turned and ran toward the exit. Chaos broke out as they rushed outside and jumped back into their waiting car. However, one of the thieves wasn't fast enough. The cashier managed to stop him before he could escape. With the help of others nearby, the suspect was restrained and held until police arrived. The other sped away in their vehicle, but authorities were alerted with descriptions of the car. Officers arrived quickly, secured the store,